Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions with your host, Gunny G, where service members help service members, period. Follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts and on most social media platforms. Let us know how we're doing. Any criticism is good criticism. Let's get into it. I got a special guest by the name of Travis. But before we get there, we got some big things on this podcast, on this session. I'm excited to hear what he's got to say. I'll let him introduce himself. Travis, go ahead and introduce yourself, background, how many years you served, billets and capacities, what you've done so far, thus far.
Okay. My name's Travis Wesley. I did 23 years in the Army, food service, and a recruiter, 2 deployments to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan, 39 months total, and served as platoon sergeant, station commander, various positions, and retired last year. Upon retiring, my dad passed away from a heart attack, and I know like 3 weeks prior to that, I was doing an interview for life insurance. I was going to be like a sales manager for New York Life, and I saw the impact of life insurance, and then right away a light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, that's my next purpose in life. So I got into life insurance broker, and then I noticed, before I retired, I noticed how bad the VGLI was, Veterans Group Life Insurance, and a kind of like, not only did I notice the first purpose, help people with life insurance, and then I noticed help veterans with life insurance and financial issues. So I've been doing that for, about 6 months now, give or take. And that's where I'm at now. Yeah.
Well, Travis, thank you. Thank you for your service. I appreciate it, man. Where you been stationed at?
I first due station was Fort Bragg, then South Korea.
Hey, okay. South Korea. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was at Camp Red Cloud, Weejambu, which I don't even know if that's open anymore. I know a lot of stuff over there closed, but then I get out for like 8 months, came back in Germany. I was in Hanau, Germany, like about 45 minutes. I forget directionally. It was like, I think south of Frankfurt. From there, I went to Fort Carson, Colorado, and two deployments. 1 deployment in Germany, 2 deployments out of Fort Carson, and then my last 11 years I spent in recruiting, where I recruited in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Oregon, and where's the other one at? New Jersey. And then now I've retired in New Jersey.
That is awesome. So it sounds like you were like a career recruiter type, huh? Where you?
Yeah. I switched over, and after my 3 years, I switched over. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So actually, funny thing you talk about that. I talked to a career recruiter yesterday, Master Sergeant Laura from the Marine Corps, and I was kind of going hard on them a little bit on the benefit tags. Since that was left out of the little bio, I'm gonna have a couple questions for that. Actually, now that you're on it, but before we get there, dude, I'm a little jealous, envious about the Army. They do got some cool duty stations. Marine Corps major installations are Okinawa, Camp Pendleton, and North Carolina. The same old. You guys get some nice pickings from different spots, and it's amazing. It's awesome. So I'm a little jealous about that. But career recruiting, huh? Let me ask you something. Do you guys got like little benefit tags or what?
As far as what?
To recruit a young, impressionable individual into the Army.
No, pretty much it's a high pressure job, and like you will do it, or like we're gonna come down on you type thing. So yeah. It's like go get them, and then if not, we won't yell at you as much. Kind of, pretty much.
Yeah, so there's no like, hey, do you want challenge? Do you want a fun and adventure? Do you want this, that, and the other?
Yeah. So I thought you were talking about like from the higher ups to the recruiter.
No.
Yeah. No, there is, because we have some people come in and they want special operations, special forces, and we could tell like right away, like we're like, have you ever played sports? Do you work out? And if they're like, I've had one guy that was like, not really. I'm like, dude, you're probably not gonna go hit the gym and come talk to me. But some people come in, they want to do computer programming. Some people come in and they want to fly helicopters. It depends. So some people want to do ROTC and whatnot. So yeah, we get a lot of that, and because we're the biggest branch, we had a lot to offer. We got some people that are nerds, they want to fix satellites, and we want people that want to kick down doors and go after an enemy. So a little bit of everything's there for them.
So,
So
so basically you're saying is they pretty much just walk in and just, you recruit them that way. You don't even have to go out and look for them. They just kind of walk into your door.
no, we have to make the phone calls. We have to go knock on doors. We have to go to school visits and all of the above.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because
what
a
is it
thing,
that, go ahead, go ahead.
no, a thing you don't understand about recruiting until you do it is how many people are disqualified. Like, because
Facts.
it is a nightmare to get through MEPS. Oh my God, I could go on for 2 hours about this, but
We, we only got 45 minutes to calm down,
I
Travis.
know I could easily go 2-3 hours, but the get people through MEPS is such a nightmare that the people that qualify and then the ones that qualify that are like, I'm going to college, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to be a YouTuber or whatever. And then the people that are qualified and the people that are actually interested, it's such a small number that, yeah, you have to go find them. You have to go try to pull them away from college and pull them away from trade school or pull them away from going to work and like, hey, we offer this, we offer this. Yeah, I wish we could just sit there and take them in. I think Air Force can do that. We're not that lucky.
That's funny. Dude, that's awesome. That's crazy. I didn't think that you were a career recruiter, but now that I know, that's crazy. I know Army, I know Marines a little bit. I mean, I haven't been a recruiter. I've been just a drill instructor for the Marines. For you, it'd be drill sergeant. So I've done that piece. But sweet, that's awesome. Let me ask you something real quick though. You did 23 years. What are some of the pros and cons in terms of transition? You transitioned out of the military. Thank you. There's some pros, there's some cons. What could you have done differently in terms of transition? And I share that with the listeners because, I'm a big proponent of service members, helping service members, and hit that piece real quick, Travis.
I think a big thing, and it's funny I say this because I did an internship with Recruit Military. I did an internship. I tell everybody they should do an internship. Just a little break from the service, get used to civilian mentality. Recruit Military is good. I hear Allegiant Vets is good, Hiring Our Heroes, and there's multiple other ones. Get on LinkedIn as soon as possible, 18 months out, and just start making connections, making friends. And do that as soon as possible. Do all the certifications too, the project manager and all that stuff. I would say get on LinkedIn like ASAP, and like from there you'll find so many resources you didn't even know, and find people that you didn't know you needed until you need them. Because it's funny, I got on LinkedIn, somebody from New York Life found me. I got into insurance and I kind of got off LinkedIn, and now I'm getting back on LinkedIn to help get with people as they're getting out the military to educate them on life insurance and whatnot. So it should be like one of those things you get on LinkedIn and stay on LinkedIn. Like you can even do it 5 years out from retiring or 20, whatever. But get on LinkedIn and just make friends and make connections and stay in contact and post stuff. And because so many people, they get hired and they find people that are like multipliers in their life through LinkedIn, social media too, but definitely LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm tracking. I hear you, Travis. Let me ask you something. I know that's obviously a con. That was something that you could have done differently. So what's some of the pros, of transitioning? I know you mentioned family earlier. How does transition from service now a pro, so to speak? Even though I know military service is a pro in general, I get it. But now that you transition, touch on that piece.
Yeah, for me, it was I was pretty lucky when it come to the job. I found something early. I didn't have to go through a lot of interviews. I think a pro is, like I said, the internship. That was phenomenal for me because they taught me how to do a resume. I got to just kind of decompress from military life and not worrying about staying fit and being in shape, and like I could like grow my hair out for a little bit before I actually retired. And I kind of like got a chance to like discount what do I need to do to get out and retire. So an internship that, even if you don't take a job from there, even if it's just to learn from the people at the internship, that it was a game changer for me because I learned so much stuff that I didn't even know I needed to know. So definitely that's one of the big ones.
Okay, so you transition, and some of the pros and cons were kind of the same. You talk about prepare yourself, give yourself a good window to get out. I know I talked to a lot of service members, and they say the same thing. You got once you come in, You're infield, and now you got to prepare for exfil, right? Because you're not going to be there. Boots on ground doesn't happen all the time. You got to get out of there eventually. So the moment you step on the yellow footprints or whatever footprints you step on, you got to prepare to get out because that uniform is going to leave eventually. At the end of the day, you're just a number going through the machine. And I'm with you. I'm with you. I agree. For us, it's called skill bridge. I don't know if it's called skill bridge for you too. I'm pretty sure it's called skill bridge.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Another thing I would kind of tell everybody, you kind of got to develop your I don't care mentality. And let me explain that. Like, you got to, okay, I'm a year out, year and a half. I still care about taking care of soldiers, taking care of Marines, I still care about the mission, but you got to develop I got to take care of me now. And you can't, care about that. I'm not saying you be a douchebag and, just stay at home and I'm not going to work today. You ain't got to do that. Be like, I need to work on my resume now, and I need to do this. I need to prepare for my internship. And you can't care if it affects somebody. Because there's going to be, when you're good and people keep wanting to call on you over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm a year out. I need to do this for me now. Because when you get out, the people, your buddies will care about you, and your mom and dad and your wife or husband. But for the most part, it's on you to take care of you. And if you don't do that, then you're going to be the one that's SOL. So it's kind of, you got to really develop that, I got to take care of me now. And it won't be selfish because you did your time. It's time you got to get ready to get out. And it takes a lot of time.
I'm trying. So there's a saying, it's your career. Nobody's going to care about it as much as you. Right. Same idea for transition. It's your transition. Nobody's going to care about it as much as you. You got to take ownership, and those things, that uniform is going to come off, and you got to find purpose in your transition. What are you going for? And then we're going to touch on that, Travis. You found purpose immediately after your father died. I'm sorry to hear that for sure, but you found purpose immediately, and you found out that this is what you wanted to do. Life insurance. Tell me a little bit about what you do and how you help service members navigate life insurance when they transition out of the military.
Okay. Well, the Veterans Group Life Insurance, or the two options for life insurance through the VA, are both, I'm going to be nice, they're not very good. And that's me being very politically correct.
I hear that a lot, but go ahead, touch that, hit it.
Okay, so let's say you got how much is your SGLI right now?
Mine is 500,000.
Okay. If you were to get out, let's say you retire and you get out, you're 40 years old. Let's just throw that out there. And you do $500,000 for the VGLI. Let's say you want to have it until you die. Let's say you die at age 80. Your first decade, 40 to 50, it's only going to be, I think, 80, then it jumps up to over $100 a month, which is not bad. Then once you get over 50, it jumps up to about $500 a month, and then it just gets more and more, it just goes up. So once you get over 60, it's I want to say, I wish I had it written down in front of me, but once you get over 60 or 65, it's over $1,000 a month for $500,000 cover. And then over 70,
is that the insurance that we get when we retire? They offer us?
Yeah, through the VA.
Okay. So don't take it. It sounds like.
Don't take it. Once you get over 70, it's I want to say it's already over $1,000 a month, and either 75 or 80, it goes over $2,000 a month. Now, let's compare. You can either do. More than,
that's.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Time out, Travis. That's more than that's. It depends on the rank you get out. That's half your pension almost.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
So here's how bad it is. You're about to see how bad it is. So I can set you up. A friend of mine is just retired. He just retiring last month. He's 39 years old, 20 years in the Army. About to set him up with a 30-year term of $500,000. It's going to be $108 a month from age 40 to age 70. Doesn't go up or down. It stays $108 a month. Now, he knows that once he hits 70, he's going to not need life insurance anymore. He's going to have his house paid off. He's going to have enough through TSP and other investments to, take the gift to his wife or So he's like, he knows his kids are going to be in their 30s, so they're not really going to need a big death benefit. So he knows that. But $108 a month for 30 years doesn't go up. Or I'm setting up another guy, he's 44, he's my age. I'm going to set him up for $300 a month for age 44 to age 70, and then it covers for the rest of his life, whether he dies at age 105 or 85. So either $108 a month for 30 years or $300 to $350 a month for 30 years and pays for the rest of his life. Compared to the VGLI, yeah, it's a big difference.
That is a lot. That's a big difference. I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of the increase is after a certain age. But I mean, I get it because likelihood of death is probably imminent after 70 some years old, right? You start to deteriorate. Yeah. But I mean, still, it seems a little bit excessive if that is factually true. I mean, I can't imagine paying $2,000 at 70. I'm just trying to just enjoy my grandkids at that point. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And did you know this up front, or did you find this out after you got into insurance?
Well, it's funny. I went through the retirement brief, and the retirement services officer kind of showed me, hey, here's a scale. And I was like, oh, that's kind of expensive. And then I didn't think anything of it. And then this is before my dad had died. And then my dad died. And then I just taken an interview for life insurance sales manager through New York Life. Like, it hadn't hit me yet that I was going to start helping veterans. I kind of knew I would, and then I was like, oh, I want to do life insurance. And I kind of like delayed a little bit, about to retire, you're just taking care of that. And then it hit me, I'm like, hold on. Veterans, how many veterans are just going to do VGLI without even thinking about it? Because they don't know any better. Not saying they're not smart or anything. They're just like, VA provides it, let me do that. And then I was like, I need to educate them on that. And then when I start looking at it again, I'm like, this is atrocious. This is just horrible. So yeah, it's kind of like, initially I didn't think I would go that route but now I just want to tell every veteran getting out, like, don't go this way. The one thing it's good for is if you have, like, say you had a heart attack on service, you have major health conditions, diabetes, stuff like that. Maybe you had a stroke, and you may not qualify for life insurance through like Transamerica, Primerica, Mass Mutual, NLG, one of the insurance carriers. VGLI is good then because you'll qualify. But outside of that, it's horrible.
So, okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. Like, if you had a heart attack while you were in and retired, the likelihood of somebody approving you for insurance is kind of slim to none. I mean, not slim to none, but it's very, very, it's lower. The percentage is lower, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay. So there's your, and you're being honest. I appreciate the honesty. Like, there is a pro to it, but it seems like there's more cons overall than there is pros. How do you get yourself embedded with veterans where you're at right now?
Well, I am hitting up a lot of them on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, and really trying to get in contact with them before they get out, because it's too late. A lot of people, they get out and then they either take the VGLI or they take work insurance too, which is a problem because it doesn't follow them from job to job. So the main thing I'm trying to do is, get in contact with them before they get out, and then already like, hey, I'm here whenever you need me, hit me up.
Yeah. So group life insurance, what you're saying is life insurance. What is it? What are some of the premiums that, comparably speaking to the VGLI, that you're paying besides the monthly, the monthly?
Are you talking about like just a normal carrier? Like if you were to go through like just one of the insurance carriers?
Yeah, sure. I mean, can you compare to the VGLI compared to the normal insurance carrier? Like, are we saving money? Like, cause I mean, this is your show. This is your platform here. I was just trying to learn. Yeah. Like, I didn't know that the premium went up every 10 years after that for the VGLI. I didn't know that. So hit that piece real quick.
The two different examples I can give you is one, a 39-year-old. He's he just retired. It's going to be $108 a month for him for $500,000 of coverage for 30 years. That's called term life insurance. It's only either for 10, 20, or 30 years. And then after that, you're like, okay, I'm self-insured. That means you got enough money in the bank account to not worry about life insurance, or you're like, I don't need life insurance anymore because your kids are older and they're grown and they're, working and taking care of themselves. So, for 30 years, from 39 to age 69, he's covered with $108 a month for a $500,000 policy. Another one, 44 years old, is going to be either 300 or 350 for him for $400,000 of a whole life policy. A whole life covers him till he dies, whether that's 100 or 65 or 85. And that one builds cash value. That's another retirement plan. It's retired into an index like the S&P 500. It's protected from loss when the stock market doesn't do well, and he gets tax-free. He can borrow from it after 7 years. He can borrow from it. Say he wants to buy a boat. If he wants to, pay for, a brand new car, whatever, he can borrow from it, or he can just wait till retirement and use it then. And that one's going to be about $300 to $350 a month. From age 44 to age 70, he's paying that, and after he's done paying, and he's covered to the day he dies.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. I mean, that's just for the individual person. Yeah, it's not like for me and my wife, or so to speak. That's two separate coverages. Yes.
Yeah.
Copy that. That sounds like a good deal. I heard of the second one, that whole term, or the whole life insurance policy. Through my buddies, they do the same thing, and they talk about it a lot. They kind of, hey, this is what you should be doing. You should get out of this, and so to speak. How do you, since your main communication is through social media, people that word of mouth, have you ever thought about getting the transition program? How the DoD offers it to all they have to do it through all service members. It's called TAPS or TRS, right? For the Army, TAPS, I think it's called. And they do. Go ahead.
No, it's funny you mentioned it. I was just thinking about that last week. I'm like, I'm not sure if they will, because the VA gets to brief their life insurance through TAP, but they give you hey, here's a life insurance program. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that.
Yeah, it makes sense. It sounds like capitalism to me, to be honest. And it's kind of almost like who offers the better offer and at the better rate. It sounds like at face value, it sounds like the insurance policy that you have is compared to the VGLI is, it's above reproach. I can't compare really. But the only thing that, again, you said earlier, it offered was if I had like diabetes, getting out, a heart attack while I was in service and retired, that it benefited me there. But I don't know if I like the increase of premiums every 10 years. It's very intimidating.
Yeah, it's actually every 5 years. Yeah, it's actually every 5 years. It goes up every 5 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. It's once I knew about life insurance, when I first looked at it, I was like, that's kind of expensive. And then I knew about the policies, and I knew about what a normal term rate is. And I was like, this is horrible. That's why I need to educate people on this. So
what's another maybe a tidbit that service members don't know about the VGLI that's not very conducive to retirement and group and life insurance, excuse me?
The VGLI, that's mainly it. There's also a VA Life. It's a whole life policy. It's like up to $40,000 a month. Up to $40,000 in coverage. It's still kind of pricey. It's just not as good as what the normal commercial carriers will give you.
You just said 40,000. You just offered 500,000 for $300 a month, and they're only giving you 40 plus for a whole term.
Yep.
The scales are off. You know what I mean?
Both of them just don't compare to normal. You could go to any insurance carrier and not even know anything and just pick one without knowing anything. It'll be better than that. And also another thing is it doesn't have living benefits. Now, living benefits, say if you got a history of, say, in your family, dementia or Alzheimer's or stroke or heart disease or cancer, living benefits will give you a portion of the death benefit can be redirected to while you're alive, because we think of life insurance as You die, you pass away, $500,000 goes to spouse, $500,000 goes to kids and spouse, whatever. That's also one part of it. Another part of it is living benefits. Now, if you die, pass away, if you get diagnosed with cancer, Alzheimer's, a chronic condition, a terminal condition where you're going to die in 24 months, 12 months, a portion of the death benefit can go to help out with additional medical costs. So most likely you can't work then because you're very sick, and you still got more expenses coming in, so it can help out with that. So yeah, in the VGLI and the VA Life, none of them have that at all. It's just death benefit.
Really?
That's it. Yeah.
Just money for the death. That's it. Man, it sounds like I know what I'm gonna do when I retire, not hit that VGLI. I mean, you've convinced me. Unless I don't know something you don't know, or you don't know something I don't know, but it sounds like there's really no competition. You know what I mean, Travis?
See, a person I know, he got diagnosed with cancer. He's retiring now. For him, it makes sense because he can't get qualified anywhere else. But outside of that, and like a severe medical condition, you should go with a normal policy. Whether you go whole life or term, whatever, or index universal life, which is a whole life policy, like to each their own, whatever. Either way, it's definitely better to make sure you have living benefits for chronic condition, terminal or critical illness. It needs to be cover all of those. Whichever way you want to go, it doesn't matter. But VGLI, unless you get diagnosed with a major medical condition and cannot get life insurance outside, or like say you're one of those dumbos that gets a DUI, you got to get out the service. Some life insurance carriers, you can't have a DUI within so many years. Some of them it's like 3 years, and some it's like 6 years. Yeah. Or like the ones that they the service members that do drugs and they get kicked out. Yeah. Some drug use, you can't get life insurance for so many years. So the VGLI would make sense then.
Okay. So there are some. You're being fair. I appreciate that, the honesty. There's some things that you're going to benefit in terms of being a veteran, right? The label veteran comes with a lot of benefits, but at the same time, is the juice worth the squeeze? Maybe that, I guess, to each their own. Just like you said, Travis, I do appreciate that honesty. I got to say though, you've been very upfront about the insurance, and I'm definitely going to now do my research. And if you're listening to your transitioning out of 4, 8, or 10, 12, 20, 30, whatever it is that you should, maybe take a second look at it. You're transitioning. Take a second look at the insurance, what you actually sign up for. You read the fine print. That's what it sounds like, man. Because if you don't know, you don't know. You'll sign blindly just because it says V Veteran Group's life insurance, right? And it's supposed to have your back. But it sounds like they just want the money. That's what it sounds like. I'm not saying that's my opinion. That's what it sounds like, right? Which is not good, especially. Go ahead.
Another thing is, most people have a TSP, a thrift savings plan, and a lot of people, they either leave it alone or they, you got options. You can leave it alone. You can roll it over to IRA, 1K, and whatnot. We, as life insurance brokers, we have the option to help you with it's called a fixed index annuity. And the cool part about that, like 2008, when the Great Recession, major housing collapse, where there's downturns in the market, these accounts protect from loss while giving you cap growth when the stock market goes well. So, and another cool feature is you can turn on a private pension when you turn 60. So we also do that as well.
So I can roll over my TSP to an insurance policy fixed, and I can make money after I retire.
Yeah.
Official retirement.
Yeah, you can, after age 60, you can either have a pension every month where it's like so much will be a deposit into your check account every month, or you can keep letting it grow and it's protected from loss and cap growth when the market goes well. Or you could also roll it over into an IRA or 401k, that type of stuff.
Yeah. Can you do that while you're in? I don't think you can do that while you're in.
You would have to, I believe, cancel the TSP and then roll it over, which you have an option to do.
There's some fees. I think there's some fees I got to pay for that.
Yeah, it's not really worth it. It's better just to keep it in there.
Until you actually, hey, here's your official paperwork. You're a free man.
Yep. Yeah.
That makes sense, because I think that's one of the life events that it talks about without penalties or fees. I do think so. You know what? That's good news too. I mean, I appreciate you being upfront and honest, Travis, about the insurance policies, the TSP. It's good to know and not to have all your eggs in the basket. So I do appreciate that. I gotta touch on two pieces still before you get off. And I know time is precious. We're not getting paid for this. We're just kind of sharing our information, networking, and sharing some good information, good gouge for the toolbox. But I gotta ask. You talked about transitioning. You talked about purpose after military, but I got to ask, what service members lose sight of purpose outside of the uniform? And a lot of the time they transition and stuff happens because their purpose, the mission is gone. They don't have the mindset no more. And now they're just in limbo, so to speak, just kind of waiting to see what happens. And we talked about it earlier about taking the bull by the horns and taking ownership of your transition. I know that a serious life event for you happened in terms of your dad. But for those that don't have that happen, how do they find purpose out of transition?
You know what? I think one, it should be, because you can help veterans in one way or the other. Podcasts, you can sell life insurance, you could like so many different ways. Like find something I think that's authentic to you, and then like how can I help veterans, and then even if it's working at the helping out with the VFW or the American Legion or whatever. Like there's another one. I saw a guy, he retired and he's showing people how to bow hunt and other stuff, veterans. I was like, man, that's cool. I think it's got to be authentic to you. And then whether it's helping veterans or maybe, you have a special needs kid and you want to help out, parents with special needs, whatever it is, it should be authentic to you. And then, yeah, you got to find a way to help out, I think that's how you can, you lose track. Because some people, they're like, I miss the morning formations. I miss being with my soldiers. I miss this. Where for me, I'm different. Where I look forward to that retirement. I like growing out my goatee and I don't feel like getting a haircut this week. No problem. I enjoy that. Where I don't miss a lot of stuff on active duty at all. I'm like, thank God, I don't have to do that no more. It was great. Don't get me wrong, but where others, they miss that, where maybe you need you go out with the buddies at the VFW once a week and then you help out in one way or the other. I don't know. I think it's just best to be what's authentic to you, and then just make sure you're helping out. I knew one guy, he was serving as, I don't know how he did, I forgot, one of the suicide hotlines. And he was he was doing this while he was in, and he planned to do it when he retired. He was like, hey, I got to take this phone call really quick. I'm like, everything all right? I thought it was someone with his wife or something, or family. He said, no, this guy, he's almost suicidal. And let me talk. I was like, oh, okay. Whatever is authentic to you, and then find your way to help, because everybody's different. But mine kind of found me. I wasn't looking for it. And then my dad passed away. Right before that, I was doing an interview for get into life insurance game. And then the light bulb went off. And then I was like, oh, let me help out veterans. And I remembered how bad the VGLI was priced. And then I was like, this is what I'm doing for, whenever I decide to stop working. But yeah, once you find that why though, it's different, because you're like, I'm doing this because I'm on a higher calling, so to speak. And
I like that.
Oh my God, I got to go to work. I don't want to do this. There's none of that. You're just like, oh, I'm going to help people. I'm going to help these veterans, my brothers and sisters in the uniform who deserve to know that, hey, the VGLI is a horrible option. Hey, you need options for investments that are protected from losses. You need, all this different info. The ones that don't have any retirement plan other than their pension coming in, and, they get stacked credit card debt. You're like, oh, let me go help them. Or, like I said, the guy who's talking to the buddies that need to be talked off the ledge, or, the guy teaching people how to bow hunt. To each their own, and find what's authentic to you and how you can help, and what's natural, what's authentic to you. Because if you don't
like that,
it should be something you shouldn't have to look for. You should know, and it should be a part of you.
There's a saying, Travis. There's a saying: if you love to do it, if you love to do it for free, that's your passion over money. And it sounds like for you, I mean, obviously you got to pay your bills, so you got to make some money, but you're passionate about helping service members transition with the correct insurance because we just don't know. We're ignorant to the fact, and I do appreciate that. And I got to ask one more question. I know time's precious. Marines are soldiers, airmen, sailors alike, the entire DOD. So even maybe civilians, man, I would say. But, we touched on about purpose after transition, but at the same time, even if you have purpose, we still struggle with mental health, anxiety, depression, PTSD. And some of those are at the ledge as we speak right now. And if you could talk them off the ledge, if you could give them a tool right now, what would it be?
I would say try to help others because that way, through that, you get that mission. You get that because the worst thing I think you can do is just go retire or get out, go work 9 to 5 at I'm just gonna go work at Home Depot or I'm just gonna work at Lowe's. And maybe you're happy, you're kind of like, I'm doing this to pay bills. And you never do the thing to give you that mission. Because we're so used to having that mission. Went to Iraq, Afghanistan, the big missions, you go on the field training exercises, we're used to those large, huge missions that are a big deal. And if you don't fill that vacuum, that hole, one way or the other, whether it's giving back or you're talking people off the ledge, you're just finding your way, you're teaching how people bow hunt, help out with life insurance, whatever it is, if you don't find that mission, how to help people, and once you do that, it's just like it's a different aura. It's a different kind of vibe. Even my time on active duty, a lot of times I was just like, okay, let me go do this. Okay, guys, do my time. Where now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pumped, let's go. Some days I was just active duty. I was like, oh, I don't feel like doing this. Where now I really don't have those days. I'm like, let me go find some people to help out.
Yeah, that's good.
It's different. I definitely say, and obviously, there's people that find that hunt the good stuff, find the good, count your blessings. That stuff is cliche, but it's really it works. It really does.
Yeah. Thank you, Travis. And those who are listening, find the mission and then execute. Now, that's the best thing that you can do. I know we're task oriented. That's a fair point, Travis. We're very mission oriented, task oriented service members, and we kind of don't lose sight of it. And then we lose the mission, we lose the purpose. And if you lose purpose, you lose focus, and focus creates chaos. And we God forbid that happens. So I appreciate that, Travis. Where can they reach you at if they want to know more about insurance, even just hit you up about life in general? Travis, where can they hit you up at?
Yeah. My Facebook is Travis Wesley. I believe I'm the only one on there. I always forget my handle. I think it's Travis Wesley 79. I believe that's what it is. I'm horrible. I'm on TikTok, Travis_Wesley, I believe it is. God, I'm horrible. Instagram, I'm also Travis_Wesley_80. And I'm on LinkedIn, Travis Wesley 80, I believe it is. Yeah. One of those.
Travis, thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the knowledge, man. Tools in my toolbox when I transition now. Not anytime soon, but it's good to know now. That way you're ready for exfil out of the military. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions with your host, Gunny G, where service members help service members, period. Follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcast and on most social media platforms. Let us know how we're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Gunny G and Travis, and we out.
Thank you.
Featuring active service members to discuss their thoughts and opinions on various issues surrounding military life, current events, and history. The statements heard here are the opinions of its members and guests. These do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Defense and are not endorsed or sponsored in any way. Listener, viewer discretion advised.